Good morning. I appreciate everybody being here. We're looking forward to a game this week that's really one of the great challenges in all of college football. The Naval Academy has not lost a home game since September 29th, 2012. They have one of the more unique offenses in the country. They are the gold standard of option offenses, and it's a tremendous challenge for our guys on defense, and we're looking forward to it, to go down there with the idea of being 1-0. Now, I think this version of their Navy team is unique for this reason. It really is an older team. 10 of the 11 starters on the offensive depth chart are juniors and seniors. 8 of the 11 starters on the defensive depth chart are juniors and seniors. So this is a team of men, very well-trained men, and very good at what they do, and I think their results speak to that. Questions?
Kyle, I could be wrong, but I don't think did Goodwin play against?
He did not.
Was that injury? Was that situational? Because he's not on the injury report this week. So why didn't he?
No, he's healthy now. He was limited last week in practice a little bit, but now he's back 100%. He should get all the practice time in this week, and I would expect him to play.
Kyle, what was the mood of the team last night, and did you sense any hangover, or are they moving on?
I thought it was very focused, very workmanlike, and I think having a game against a team like Navy will make you do that. Once you put the film on, your focus better immediately go to them. The precision they run their offense with, the multiplicity of their defense. They're a 3-4 personnel defense. They've got 2 300-pound nose guards, which is a little unique for them to have players that size. They play some 4-3 concepts within it, so they really make you work mentally. So I thought it was very focused, and I think it needs to be.
Sort of on that note, did you get a chance to gauge Gary Nova's confidence level, and you expect a big bounce back from him this week?
I don't think Gary lacks confidence. I think he'll practice well this week. I think he'll be ready to go on Saturday, and Gary knows he needs to do a better job managing the game, making decisions. But I don't think confidence will be an issue.
Kyle, just going back to the emotional state of the team, do you have to keep a close eye on that this week after such an emotional weekend for this team?
I think it's a constant process. I think every week to get your focus back on trying to be 1-0 for the upcoming game is a challenge. Some weeks it's a challenge because you've had success, and handling success is a challenge. And some weeks you got to handle disappointment, which is what we're handling this week. But mature football teams move on. They move on after wins. They move on after losses, and we've done that. I think we've got a mature football team. The way we practiced last night leads me to believe that my inclinations are right.
Kyle, with all the extra prep work that goes into playing a service academy, what makes putting them on your schedule attractive?
I like playing the academies. I think the environment of those games, home and away, is exceptional. I think they're good football teams. I want to challenge our football team with our schedules, and we're always going to be challenged in conference, but we're willing to play anybody out of conference as long as they're willing to play us home and home. And whether it's the Naval Academy or Army in the past, they've always been willing to do that. So if that's the case going forward, I think it's a good game for college football.
Quickly, just to follow up, with the Big Ten going to 9 conference games in 2016, and then obviously the priority in playing power conference teams, how much more difficult does it make scheduling these kinds of games?
I don't think it's difficult to schedule these kind of games at all. I don't think anybody looks at playing the Naval Academy as a game against a non-Power 5 school. Although they're an independent and they're not technically in the Power 5 conferences, I think everybody around the country, including the people ultimately that'll make the decisions on the playoff, understand the challenges that go into it.
Kyle, are you keeping Justin Goodwin at running back for this week?
We are. Justin will play running back this week.
How permanent is that, or could he still bounce back at some point to defense?
I don't know that anything is permanent beyond a one-game season. And right now, everything we're doing in our planning, from depth chart to game plan, is all based on trying to be 1-0 this week. And then after the game, we'll evaluate it and we'll go forward.
Kyle, in the past you've had success defending the triple option, slowing it down. So what can you do Saturday to slow it down and defend it?
Well, the first thing you better do is you better stop those guys in the middle, because the quarterback and the running back carry the ball more than anybody else. The quarterback, the quarterback who was injured last week, Reynolds, who's back again now, 44 carries for 215 yards. The backup came in, 28 carries for 89. The fullbacks, 30 carries for 222 yards. Then they bring the backup fullback in, who's 245 pounds, and he carried it 24 times for 173. So you certainly have to be sound. The expression assignment football always comes up when you play the academies, and there's no doubt about that. But you better start by stopping that fullback and that quarterback, or they'll never pitch it because they won't have to.
Kyle, with Kevin Snyder being listed as questionable, would L.J. Liston be the next man up, and your confidence level in him, if so?
Right now, it would be Longa and Gauss would be the first two linebackers in the game inside, and I have tremendous confidence in both those players.
Would you lean toward who would just be the next best linebacker?
It would be, and this week, you guys somewhat familiar with this. We have a scheme and a system that we play to defend the option. It's a little bit different than our base defense, and it's something we've used here since 2005.
Did you do much option prep in spring practice? I can't remember, to be honest. And also the importance of your D tackles against the option.
We didn't do any in spring. We did start in the summer, and then in training camp, we've done quite a bit to get ready for this. The defensive tackles, the inside linebackers, the defensive ends, those 6 guys are critical to make sure you do exactly what I kind of referred to a second ago. You better start by stopping the fullback and stopping the quarterback, because if you don't, the ball will never go outside.
When you look at the previous game, your first Big Ten game, and we probably all asked the players, what do you expect out of a Big Ten game? Is that what you expect game in and game out in the Big Ten, that kind of toughness, that kind of tight type of game?
Whether you're playing a conference game or whether you're playing a game like Navy, it's exactly what you expect. You expect them all to be hard. Winning Division I football games is hard. You expect them to be competitive. You got to compete all the way to the end. And a lot of times it's going to be the team that just makes one more play that's going to come out on top. And we need to be the team that makes one more play this week.
Kyle, Navy's attempted 19 passes in 3 games. Is that low even for them? Are they even more run heavy than they usually are?
I think I'd have to go back and see if it's actually low for them. But if it is, I think the reason is they're averaging 6.6 yards a carry. And certainly their preference is to run it. And if they can run it effectively, they're going to keep running it. And they throw the ball effectively when they throw it. Their quarterbacks both throw the ball well. Their receivers are tall, long. They do an excellent job going up and getting the ball. But I think if you are going to – their throws will be change-ups unless you can get them behind the sticks. That's really the challenge of defending these guys.
And is Reynolds better at running this offense than some of the other guys you guys have played, some of the other quarterbacks you guys have played it in the past? I mean, I think he set the NCAA record for rushing touchdowns last year.
I think Reynolds is the best option quarterback we've seen from Navy in the 10 years I've been here.
Kyle, obviously Gauze wasn't much of a factor in the first game just based on the matchups, but what's he brought these last 2 games, getting more involved, and obviously I'm sure he's going to be a big factor.
Yeah, we played a lot of nickel in the first game, so he wasn't in as much as he's been in against the conventional offenses. And Quentin has gotten better and better really since he started playing last year when Jamal got hurt. And high motor guy, high intangible guy, very physically gifted. And so not only is he strong enough to make the plays on the line of scrimmage, whether it's playing against a tight end or a tackle, but he's athletic and runs well enough to make some plays in space, and that's why I think he continues to show up.
A little off topic, but Kai Hester, how nice is it to have him here, and now he's been here for a few days, and will he just jump right in as a scout team guy, or does he have kind of a different acclimation to practice?
No, he did exactly that. He jumped right in last night as a scout team guy. It's great to have him on the team, and we look forward to now progressing him through our program.
Who will be the scout team quarterback this week?
Brian Verbitsky is our scout team quarterback. He's been the scout team quarterback in the other times in practice where we've run the offense, and he's done a really good job. And I think our scout team last night did a very good job for the first day of trying to simulate the speed. Again, you're talking about the best at what they do in the world. Right? The Navy offense, Coach Ian Atamolo and his offensive staff, their players, they're the best at running this offense in the world. So we're trying to simulate that in practice with players who don't do this on a day in and day out basis. It's a tremendous challenge. I think our coaches have done a great job of getting the cards set up so that we know what the plays are and getting them into categories. And then the players have done a good job of getting out there early, of trying to time things up, the motions, the ball handling, and I was pleased for the first day.
Kyle, what's been the reaction now that you've had a day to gauge from the recruits who were at the game on Saturday?
It's been really positive, really positive. I had a lot of interaction with a lot of different recruits over the last couple of days. And my message to them is, not only did you get to see one of the great environments for college football in the country, you got a snapshot of what it's going to be like every week in the Big Ten going forward, and an opportunity to be a part of it.
Coach, coming off the Big Ten game, do you feel like it's important now in their next two non-conference games in a way to make a statement before your next Big Ten game?
I don't know. I don't believe in making statements. Here's the only statement I want to make. I want to be 1-0 this week. And that's my statement to the team and the players, the coaches, the staff. Anything above and beyond what's going to happen Saturday at 3:30, I have no concern for.
I mean, this game is that defensive line depth you've built, especially important, and just how much different, I think you kind of touched on it, but how much different is it going against the way Navy's offensive line is going to block?
It's different. Everything about it is different. The depth is critical because you need to have players playing off blocks, running to the football to gain it. If you have to make one-on-one tackles all day, dive, quarterback, pitch, it's going to be hard. You've got to get other people to the party. And those are the second and third effort plays that come from your defensive linemen as they play off some of those cut blocks. And to have the opportunity to play 8 guys in the game, I think is going to be big for us.
Any other questions?
Thank you. Joseph, no questions?